as you heard, my journey, how I started my business is something I like to share with you. But there is a little premise and something that I like to kind of lay the foundation, right? Where we came from may mold us, but what we do really defines who we are. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about my past, tell you about the present, about what is making me and driving me, and then my vision of the future. So as they said, I migrated from Argentina back in the 60s. There was a lot of political unrest and economic downturn in Latin America. And everybody knows we had Che Guevara, Fidel Castro, so a lot of things happening. And my father wanted something better for us. And so we left Argentina, boarded a plane, landed in Miami, and then took a Greyhound bus to New York. And during that journey, something happened, right? And somewhere in the South, and it was the 60s, we stopped at a bus stop, and my father got up to let a black woman sit down because he was a gentleman from Latin America. And a lot of yelling pursued, and we almost got thrown off the bus. And of course, none of us spoke English. And so luckily there was a Spanish man on the bus and explained to my father the ways of the South. And that left an impression on me. Again, that did the molding of what would become later on and drive me to do certain things, right? So in this country during that time, there was social unrest. So I went from political unrest to social unrest. And again, it molded me into the person that I was. And so, I think that the courage that it takes to leave your homeland and then to go someplace new, and none of my family came with us, is the same courage it takes to become an entrepreneur. But again, as women, we see certain things, and my mother in Argentina was a home care. She stayed at home and did what many women did. But when we got here, as they mentioned, my mother worked in a factory, as did my father. And so to me, the role of women was not how society was playing it. I didn't see the things that at that time was happening. And so I wanted to be a little bit different. And so went to corporate America. For 20 years, I worked in corporate America. And another story that happened there that, again, talk about molding me. I worked in HR, and I got to see a lot of salaries and things like that. And I saw that a peer of mine, and he and I worked together, I was far exceeded expectation. That was my rating. And he was exceeds expectation. And I noticed that he got paid more than I did. And so luckily, my boss happened to be a friend, and I was able to confront him and say, what gives here? And he said to me, well, John is married. He just had a baby. And you're single. You don't have any children. So hence management decided to give him more money. And again, that opened up another area for me to want to do something about it, to change my life. And so I launched into entrepreneurialism. And I wanted to control my own destiny. And I think that the courage that catapulted us from one country to another is the same courage that requires to be an entrepreneur. So as I mentioned earlier, right, the past molds you, the present really gives you the drive that you need. And so I joined a lot of different organizations to make a difference, not only within my company, but also within our communities. And so I sit on the board of the Hispanic Chamber, the Women's Business Council, the Minority Council. Those are things to me that are important, that helps to build an ecosystem. One of the things that we did as a company, I had a vision, and so that vision drove me to start my company. And 21 years ago, I had a vision to be a tech-savvy company with locations across the country, and we did it. 10 years ago, I had a vision to be the first Latina to be engineering installation of wireless technologies, and we did it. We took Latinos from the warehouse and turned them into technicians. 5 years ago, I had a vision to take a software-defined device and turn it into a technology that would be part of the edge while everyone's looking at the cloud. So we were able to do that. Again, it is so important to be able to have a vision and be able to catapult that vision into reality. If I look at what I want to see for the future, I want my ceiling to be the floor for the next generation of women around this room, because together we can do it. And I think that having a vision, having a passion and a drive to make things happen will catapult you into the next area. So God bless. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Enjoy the afternoon.